Okay, so
If an
we're on.
alligator grabs you, it makes for a quick death.
All right.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Nongki, Derick. We're very happy and opportune to have you on our platform today. Good evening, everybody. You're watching the Clarity Exchange podcast by Fexify. Today, we're going to have a very interesting topic. We'll be understanding why our website is not bringing in us enough clients and how we can fix it. And of course, we could not address this particular worry alone, so we decided to bring in a professional in the game who is also a web designer and happens to be a digital marketer. So he'll be here. I'm going to let him introduce himself to us so we get to know him better. Welcome once more, Mr. Nongki Derick. Please, can you
Thank you
introduce
very much,
yourself
Uma.
to let our audience know more about you before we continue? Thank you, sir.
Awesome. I believe you can hear me properly. So thank you, Madam Ngonge, for having me. It's great to be here. And I am Nongki Derick, as she rightly said. I'm a digital marketing professional, certified digital marketing expert, and a web designer. And of course, for the past 7 years, I've helped businesses across Africa improve their digital presence and turn websites, of course, as of recent, from online brochures into revenue generating business assets. And it's a pleasure to be on this podcast because I'm going to be trying to challenge the myth that is costing many businesses money, and that centers around conversion entirely, because
Exactly.
most business owners think the reason their website isn't bringing clients is because they need more traffic, but that's not always the truth. So we're going to be trying to challenge that myth today. My pleasure to be with you on this podcast, Madam Ngonge.
Thank you. Thank you once more, Mr. Derek. So there's this particular concept. A lot of small businesses trying to believe that they do not need a website, given the past experiences they must have had or what they've heard, usually in the sense that the websites do not bring in clients, and so it's not applicable to spend money on it to build a website for their business, and so they just go along with digital marketing, leaving out in digital marketing that they will term the most important part in business, in digital marketing for a business, which is the website. So have to say about this? Do you think what they believe is true?
For the most part, based on poor results, I believe what they say is true, but
Mm-hmm.
also not true from an expert point of view.
Yes.
Small, medium-sized enterprises who are starting out and are saying that they do not need a website because they are afraid of the results they're going to get, because of maybe they're afraid of putting in resources to get a website that will literally not produce results for them. Sometimes
Exactly.
if they haven't had the experience and they're basing it off of what they have heard of other people's bad experiences of poor marketing results at the end of the day, that could be possible. That is what they have at the back of their mind. But the real truth
That's
is,
true.
I want to go off of. Can you hear me?
Of course, we can get you.
Awesome. So
Yes.
the real truth is, and I want to take a simple scenario. For a small, medium-sized enterprise that's starting out and is not getting results. Let's take, for
Yeah.
instance, your problem is not traffic. Your problem is conversions or turning visitors into clients that pay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if your website gets, for instance, 10,000 visitors a month, but only two people become customers, do you really have a traffic
Yeah.
problem? I
Exactly.
believe
That's the
I
problem.
believe you don't I believe you don't have a traffic problem. If you get more website visitors, but you only get to convert a fraction of those, not even a fraction, not even up to 1% of those. So you don't
Yeah.
have a traffic problem, but you rather have a conversion problem. Now, let's look at this other scenario where your website converts 10% of visitors in a month, or 10% of visitors into customers, but only receives 20 visitors monthly. It means that your website receives twenty visitors in a month, but it is able to convert 10% of those 20 visitors in that month. So that this is a typical traffic problem. This is where you can say, okay, my website is facing a traffic problem. So you have to know the difference before you spend a single dollar, or before you go ahead and draw a conclusion as a small as a startup, or maybe a small as or an SME, that
Mm-hmm.
websites are not producing results. You should be able to tell where your problem is coming from. Where is the leakage?
Exactly.
So the mistakes many businesses make is trying to pour more water into a leakage, in fact, into a leaking bucket. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when the bucket is leaking, we're speaking from the African context. When you have a
Yes,
bucket that has
yes.
many holes on it, if you pour water into the bucket, what happens is that even if the holes are tiny, after some time, if you come back, you discover even if the water was filled to the brim, you discover that the water has dropped to a certain height. And of course, if you are trying to pour if you are trying to bring traffic into a website that has challenges converting the traffic, it means that you're simply trying to pour more water into a leaking bucket.
It's a
Let me say
leaking
so.
bucket. Yeah.
And what will happen is that the traffic will spend more. In fact, you are going to spend more money on ads and even more on boosting posts. Some go as far as even boosting posts. In fact, you
Yes.
some people, even, or some agencies and businesses even hire marketers that do not understand this process. Yet they never get this problem of leakage of leakage or website leakage fixed. And they
Mm-hmm.
and the process continue. Usually the problem is not always your marketing. The problem is not even always sometimes the traffic, or the traffic itself, but the problem is usually the conversion problem, and it is always there in the website. So
Yeah. Now,
um
okay.
yeah, I was going to say that
Sorry. Okay.
I was going
Yes.
to say that what happens to the traffic you already have as a business that has a website and is complaining that the website is not converting clients?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the traffic that you already have? If you are planning to get more traffic, because some people want to go out paying for more traffic because they think that maybe the challenge is that they're not getting enough traffic as much as possible.
Yes.
You have to answer the question of what happened to the traffic you already have. That one question usually changes the entire conversation. Every time I have conversations with clients and I ask them that question, why thinking that okay, you have to go out and pay for more traffic? What happens to the traffic you already have? Because traffic is not the goal, revenue is the goal. We always say that sales is the lifeblood of every business. I think that's the point we're
Of
trying to stress here.
course.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I have a little worry. People who usually, the small business owners who usually say that websites do not work anymore are actually those who just heard about the result of another person who did it, but have not really done it to know whether it's not working or not. In the context of someone who has actually tried, built this website, everything is looking good, but yet they do not see any clients coming from the website. I just want us to first of all look at what's the first thing that you as a digital marketer and as a web designer will look at, would pinpoint first before you even start explaining to the client that it's not only about your website looking beautiful and all. This is what you're missing. I think the audience will want to actually get that concept to understand exactly what the problem is. So, what would you pinpoint exactly in that scenario?
All right. For some, if I
Yeah.
get you correctly, I believe you are saying in a situation where somebody has already a business set up, is running properly, and the
Mm-hmm.
website is okay.
Yes.
They have done everything in
Exactly.
their full capacity to ensure that the website gives them the maximum result they're looking for in terms of conversion as far as clients are
Yeah.
concerned.
Exactly.
Now, this is it. You have to understand that this in the digital marketing field, you never know it all, even when you think you've done the right thing as a professional. And that is why you keep consulting and checking for loopholes. It's like in
And that
cybersecurity, they
particular
say when you
aspect is
finish,
frustrating.
exactly. It's like in
Yeah.
cybersecurity, they say when you finish building a system, you have to hand it over to the hands of hackers to check for loopholes. And even after they've identified the loopholes, fill the loopholes up, they're still going to be struggling to see how they can break into the system to say that, okay, there's a possibility of where this problem could likely come from. And so, as a digital marketing professional, what you do is that you don't base off of assumptions of what you have been able to do because your expertise sometimes with other people could just be a starting point to them.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you meet clients who say, who, for instance, when it comes to social media marketing, you can meet people who have been doing post boasting, likening that
Yes.
to be maybe sales campaigns. Until when you tell them the difference between post boasting and campaigns, they will never understand that okay, there's a difference, and that is why their results also vary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I meant to say is you have to understand that the customer journey a customer journey when it comes to conversion, traffic conversion is very important. Before a client finally hits that button and say buy or pay, put in the credit card to buy,
Mm-hmm.
they've traveled a long way. So it could be that there's a possibility that the problem is coming from different directions. You have to ensure that the information that you're passing out in your app doesn't oversell itself, or your post or your content doesn't oversell itself more than your website.
Okay.
If I jump into your website, what's the first thing I'm going to say? Am I going to be able to convert within the next 3 to 5 seconds?
That's true.
Now, you look at it from this point of view. You visited websites, generic websites from Africa, even in countries like Cameroon, where the first thing you see
Mm-hmm.
on the homepage is like welcome to our website.
Yeah.
Oh, they are busy telling
I've
you,
seen
they're
that
busy
in
telling you we are
places.
leading innovation, so and so. And what does that really mean? You're trying to interpret what really that doesn't speak anywhere
You're
to
trying to
a customer.
understand what they are all about. You cannot get that at first glance what their business is all about.
Thank you. And the
Yeah.
old, the old, the old, the olden day model of how websites are being presented to meet their objective is like people having this notion of, all right, our website is just like a place or an address where somebody wants to know more about us. You can go there to get our contact, then a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about what we are doing. That means you'll be the one to look for the information. It means you're outsourcing information from our website, whereas we're supposed to be the
True.
one to tell you this is the problem, this is who we are, this is the problem we solve for you. And of course, this is how we solve, these are the results that those we solve the problem we solve for always get, or they expect to get at the end of the day. So you have to be explicit enough as a business or as a company entirely when it comes to how you position yourself as far as the website is concerned with traffic conversion.
Okay, thank you very much for that one. Now, I would like us to actually look at these problems one after the other. I would like to what I believe is that there are three main mistakes that small business usually do on their website. Like you clearly said, no unclear message. You get to their website, it's not really clear on what they are doing. I mean, you see a lot of things on innovation, sustainability, but he has not spoken anything about what they offer. And so it doesn't boil down to who they are. Another one is the call to action. You've run an ad
Exactly.
that leads people to your website. Okay, they've seen it. What do they do next? The There's this other one that is on you have unoptimized designs, like stuff that are not even related to what they are doing. You see it on their website, and so it's very, very chaotic. What do you think these businesses should pay more attention to? Because it's just not about having the website or putting certain things in place. What should they pay attention to if they want to outsource it to a graphic designer? I mean, sorry, to a web designer. What are their emphasis? What should they keep in mind?
All right. Before I say what customers or the web developers rather should pay attention to when they're
Yes,
putting out a website. First of all, you have to understand that when you're building a website, you're not building a website for yourself. You are building a website for those
exactly.
for the clients. And so, if you understand you're building a website for the clients, you're going to ask the questions that you will ask if you were in their
Mm-hmm.
shoes. Now, before I get to that point, I'm going to say many times people before they reach out to us or before they get to our website and finally take action, it's a long procedure. The way it happens today is already totally different from how it used to be before. Once the client sees your
Yes.
advert online, what they're going to do is that they're going to head to Google. They are going to, maybe some will do Google sniff test, some will Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Better still, if your advert conveys them to a landing page, they are going to check into a landing page immediately. And you cannot imagine what they expect to see on your landing page. So they will click through
Exactly.
to your homepage directly. And of course, they are trying to assess for credibility. They're trying to look for trust elements. They're trying to identify with the proof you have shared on your content or on your advert before they can finally make a decision.
Yes.
And just like Madame Ngonga has shared, if if the customer finally meets one of these mistakes she just mentioned, just know that you are at risk of losing the client, or you are at risk of never even identifying that you receive traffic from that website, because you identified numbers but you never see results. And when it comes to unclear messaging, is something that has challenged a lot of designs I've seen out here. A lot. Sometimes I had to go through. I audited about. I spoke about it on LinkedIn. I audited about close to 100 websites the past 2 months, and you won't imagine the kind of mess you see across different websites in Cameroon, particularly. And visitor, you have to understand that when it comes to clear messaging or to clarity, when it comes to clarity, visitors decide within seconds whether they are in the right place or not. There's some website that you click check on it and it will take the whole day to load. In fact, yet most websites open with, like, just like I said, we already said it. There's some website open with a welcome to our website message. Some website open with things like we are a leading provider of innovation solutions. Nobody knows, and nobody knows what that means. Automatically, you are telling us that you are not serious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so clarity is a point we cannot overstate. In fact, it shouldn't be over belaboured, right? But
It
we're
should
saying
not even
that
be
when it
discussed.
comes
It's
to when
mandatory.
it comes to messaging, when it comes to messaging, you have to be very clear. Who do you help? What problem do you
Exactly.
solve? What result do you deliver? For instance, I had a line each time I use when I go out for entrepreneurial programs and networking events. When I meet you for the first time, before I later changed it, sometimes I still say it.
Yeah.
When I'm asked who I say, I'm Nongki. My name is Nongki Derick, and I'm a digital marketing expert. I help businesses who are online and struggling to be more visible, more trusted, and more profitable through digital
Mm-hmm.
marketing, content marketing, and data-driven marketing strategies. By the time I say this, I can send just a message. I know the number of people that this particular, just this phrase, just this one paragraph has converted for me,
It's
just by
exactly
sending
one
a
thing.
greeting and sending it. So that
Exactly.
is how clear your messaging should be. That is how clear your messaging should be. Now, the second challenge, which is the call to action.
Yes.
The call to action is a very important point. It is how you direct the traffic that gets to your website, to your digital storefront. That is how I call it most times. So many websites and many website visitors leave confused about what to do next. They are confused whether they should call, whether they should message, they should book a session, they should buy now, or they should even download an offer. And the next step must be obvious, because confused people don't buy. That is the truth.
Yes. Exactly.
Guided people are the ones that take action. So your website has to be very straightforward. Avoid spamming the website with mini buttons as much as possible. Sometimes you have a one landing page website and you have to put every single nook and cranny. They will not understand where it's coming from. So sometimes you see even some boys and you need to feel like their eyes on smiles on crack. on, you are wondering what is really happening. So strong CTAs that convert, you can use examples of strong CTAs that convert, such as maybe book a free consultation. In fact, a CTA should never sound like a CTA. They should actually help the person that is about to take the action they're supposed to take. It should direct them.
Exactly.
Sometimes for some of the most converting landing pages that I've built in the past, booking a free consultation would have just been the best, had happened to just have been the best, one of the most The best CTAs that will
Efficient.
actually convert you to make a purchase. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you get somebody to that point where they book a session, immediately they're booking a session, they get the free offer, and they see that instead for me to leave the website, you better take this free offer. You find yourself
Mm-hmm.
converting more than somebody who goes straight to saying, "Oh, buy now," and then before you know it, another thing is showing up. You can
Yeah.
ask them to request a quote at every stage. You can ask them to download a guide, and you know that from that guide they are going to click download. There is another option that they're going to take. So we already have that program in our mind. Web developers and digital marketing professionals understand what I'm talking about. But if you're
Yes,
just a
yes.
CEO executive and a founder who is struggling to help his or her business scale, then you have to maybe do a little bit of you sit down, rethink over what you're presenting to your clients as the value is concerned with your website. Now, the last thing on the designs. I'm
Yeah.
going to liken designs to the fact that people look at your website and they don't find any trust signals.
They don't see who are those behind it. They want, yeah. And it turns to be very confusing.
Thank you. They
Some
don't
people
find no
just
trust
download
signals.
images from Google and put on their website. People don't know who is behind that business, and so it's really doubting. It turns to be yeah. I get.
Exactly. So in fact, and just like it's a massive issue. It's a massive issue across many African businesses. I love talking about Africa a lot, even through my content of
Of
recent.
course,
I love talking
yes.
about Africa. So it's a massive issue that you can recognized across multiple African businesses or multiple
Mm-hmm.
African business websites per se. And businesses, you will find businesses that claim expertise but provide zero evidence at
Nothing.
all. In fact, people don't buy claims. That is the point I'm trying to stress. People do not buy claims; they buy proof. In fact, trust reduces what risks, and
Exactly.
reduce risks leads to higher conversion rates. We organized LinkedIn optimization masterclass recently, and I had a couple of different professionals who reached out to me from different social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram, to be precise. And for the most part, those who went ahead to make their payment immediately are people who did not only come into the class, they also went as far as checking me on Google to identify that this is an active professional who is very serious with what they are doing, intentional. And immediately after the orientation session, everybody went in.
Oh,
It means that
that's good.
the information that they found about me reduced the risk of skepticism.
It's yeah.
So what to show on your website? There are things that you can put on your website. Be mindful of testimonials and reviews. They are very important. Make use of UGC, user generated content is very
User
powerful.
generated.
And
I
you
think
can make use of case studies and results of other people who have been part of your service. You can things like client logos and certifications are secondary. They can come in just to put a hold to more value that you're already
yes.
providing. You can
Yeah.
put before
People
and
want to
after
feel
stories.
that what they're looking at is actually true.
Exactly, exactly. I don't have to visit your website and I doubt what you do. If I doubt what you do,
Hmm.
I may love the content, but I may never take action. I may never take
Exactly.
action.
Yeah.
So that is it.
Thank you very much for that one. I believe I myself I learned a lot with regards to this particular topic. Now, you've seen a lot, you've worked with a lot of African businesses, you've worked on their websites. We really want to understand what's that common mistake that you see on most African brands, their website? Like, what's that specific one? What I would usually understand, what I would usually pinpoint is the fact that they do not put content on their website. There's a section for blogs. You go there and you see content right up to 2013 that they uploaded, and today is we're in 2026. You don't update the audience about your product, your service, and so I believe that one is already it already brings your business down. So with you as a professional, is there any particular aspect you've identified for these African brands when it comes to their website?
There is one common problem that I identified when I was doing a couple of series of auditing for few websites,
Okay.
especially in
Oh,
Cameroon, and
yeah.
it's so sad how soon so many businesses give up. And I could easily understand because before I made the decision to study web designing fully. I can't count the number of times I've lose money trying to pay professionals to design websites. Sometimes they will
Okay.
bring out a very good skeleton, they bring out a very good skeleton, they will finish, they will present it. After 1 week, 1 month, they will you hear that the website had one issue or the other, it crashed. And of course, you have to go back to square zero because creating a website doesn't just have to do with the content that is all put out there. It's a
Yeah.
thinking process. And many times, if you never document, if you did not document the process to get back to where you were, would be a very big challenge. So it's a whole mess. So one challenge I've identified trying to audit a few websites, especially in Cameroon, is the fact that most businesses abandon their websites completely, even likely within the first years of operation, within the first 5 years. Better still, please, within the first 5 years. And that's why it is possible to identify that this website was created this time. You can see old content, but you never see any new updates. Many times you begin to discover that some kind of stuffs are beginning to creep into the website. The website is misbehaving.
Yes.
Nobody is in charge of it. And you can
Mm-hmm.
hope into a heavy company website that you're expecting to get credibility from them because of the kind of service that they offer locally, but you'll be totally disappointed with the way you see their website presents itself. Now, the challenge is that many professionals do not understand the importance of website marketing, traffic, and conversion when it comes to customer acquisition in Africa entirely and Cameroon most
Exactly.
especially.
I think
So
that's the main problem.
this truncates the marketing journey for a lot of businesses at the very early stage. So
Mm-hmm.
they tend to still depend on their local way of marketing even after establishing digital marketing system that should be there to take charge of clients, customer acquisition and conversion at the same time. So that is one problem that I identify across multiple businesses. And
Hello,
once you
Mr.
see this problem, it
Derek.
means that yes.
I would love us to take a quick short break so and come back and then continue from where we stopped. But already, I believe the audience are already engaged and want to know more. So during that short break, we'll dash back and see the questions that are coming up, and then we can answer before our session ends. Okay, so I'll see you in a jiffy. See you guys. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section, and we're going to address it ASAP. We'll see you back right back. I still to kill this flight. This flight is going to leave me to rest. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome, Mr. Derek.
Thank you.
That was a quick break. Now we got a question from our audience. It
All right.
says, yes, the question goes thus: what do I do when all the statistics says that my business does not need a website, but you the session insists that a website is important for small medium businesses like mine? think here we'll first of all have to start explaining the importance of the website before even start convincing why they need it. From the importance, I believe he or she can be able to understand why he actually needs a website. Mr. Derek, over to you.
The system says small, medium size, and small, medium enterprises like yours do need websites, but the
Yeah,
organization seems to be lukewarm about it. All right, you
exactly.
first of all have to understand that in this day and age, businesses that are not online, I think you're liable to 60, almost 60 to 80% of client acquisition and customer acquisition that you're supposed to get as a business is totally soaked in the mud. So your absence online, you can imagine how much that is already taken out of your business just because of the fact that you're not present
Exactly.
online. You can imagine that. I don't even want to talk about the fact that you have already a lot of competitors like you in the same field who are already doing very well in the digital space. So why would you keep contemplating about a system that is already working for other people? When do you want to get there? Um, Sometimes, many times, what happens is that in trying to get client data and track where we are actually getting customers from, many times even people who come to buy from us locally, for people who have physical businesses, we sit down to try to find out from where they got our information from. And that is how you tell the different social media and digital marketing platforms the kind of customers that you need for your business. So positioning your business or getting a website done for your business shouldn't be an option. It's not supposed to be a debate. If you want to track the result end of it after everything is well done, your website is your business's digital storefront.
Exactly.
If I visit your social media handles and I'm unable to get the entire information about what you offer, what you really do, but I'm interested by the services that you present, I know that if I hop on your website, I'm able to cook my appetite within the few seconds. I find your website, and
Exactly.
that should go as much as now. One interesting thing, we are in the AI age. We're dealing with AI right now, so there's a lot of transformation that is happening. So for a business or for a small medium-sized enterprise that is operating now, or that is starting out and is saying and is taking a website for an option, or maybe a good positioning for their online presence as an option, I doubt how well you want to go with that, because you can imagine where that will take you within a short time. That's what I would say. Just that, because
Okay.
if I share some things, you might not be able to get it properly right now.
I believe that question was properly detailed and explained. Maybe by now we probably have a second thought and wanting to get a website and you know where to go to already. So we're drawing close to the end of our podcast, just that we have one small detail that we need to make our audience understand. Mr. Derek, please walk us through a simple checklist that someone can use to audit their website on their own. Let's say during the weekend, what should they do? What should they go through to make sure that everything is set?
Simple checklist. Okay. Um,
Yes.
this is not this. I'm going to say whatever I'm going to say now is not a standard. It's not a standard
Yes.
because this might vary for your kind of business.
Okay.
It's going to mean the same. It's going to mean the same thing for your kind of business, but the outcome will not be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Clarity for, let me say for instance, clarity for, in fact, and that is already the first check, the first thing you should be looking at. So the website conversion checklist, in my website conversion checklist, what I'm going to be sharing with, that's beginning with clarity. Clarity might mean might what clarity might mean for your business is that you're able to pass across your message the right way and finally be able to get clients for, because you're able to sell that message the right way. But clarity for another business would be that actually their customers are not only they are not only getting paid, they are not only getting paid clients, but the clients are also being able to bring back what retainers. So clarity may mean two different things for different businesses, but in either ways you have to get it right. Now, the first thing you have to note if you want to help your website performance and conversion to increase, reduce skepticism, and solve all the challenges that comes with it,
Sorry,
you
Mr.
have
Derek,
to
I'm not
answer
sure
the.
we got what you said. The network was disturbing a little. Please, could you take that back?
All right. So I said the first thing which I'm going to say, which I believe is going to solve all the challenges you may have with conversion risks management or customer client skepticism as far as your website is concerned is clarity. And when it comes to clarity, you want to be able to answer the question of can a visitor or can just a new person who is coming into my business or to my website understand my offer in 5 seconds. How to test this is maybe you just finish building your website and you want to try it out. You can share it with a neighbor who knows who doesn't even know that that business exists and get their review. So you can test it with a friend or sometimes we send out surveys like right we send out surveys in form of some form of offers, just
Hello?
giving us some making some free offers because we want to get reviews of people on their website and things like that. So you can test this to know if your business is performing well. You can actually be able to make good use. And sometimes I tend to recommend some of these simple tools a lot. We have Google Analytics.
Okay.
There are other heavy tools, but they will require that you should pay. So for people who are starting, who are new in the who are fresh in the game, you can go for early, simple and easy to access, easy accessible tools like Google Analytics. Microsoft Office Clarity is also a tool that you can make use of, and then you can make use of the Hotjar. Better still, one of these, which is the Google Analytics tool, will help you to see how real visitors interact on your website. All right. You can be able to tell where they clicked and where they dropped off. We call that bounce rate. If you're able to identify the number of bounce rates, you can be able to identify the number of people. You can actually tell
Sorry,
when
Mr.
somebody comes
Derek,
into your
the
website and when they
network is
left.
disturbing. We did not get what you said. Can you please take over what you said?
All
The network
right.
is was disturbing. Yes, sorry about that.
Sorry. I believe that's not from
Yes.
my end. Okay.
No, no.
So I was saying that the first
Yes.
thing to consider when it comes to checking your website performance and ensuring that the results, when it as far as conversion rates are concerned, are not being truncated, is clarity.
Perfect.
And when it comes to clarity, you want to be able to answer the question of can somebody be able to understand my offer? Can somebody be able to understand my offer just at a glance of jumping into my website or hopping on my landing page? And I am recommending the Google Analytics tool, which is one of the most easy to access accessible tools for analytics. With Google Analytics, you're able to tell how real visitors interact with your in your website. In real time, you can tell where a particular visitor is in your website, and you can actually identify the number of bounce rates, as in the number of people who come into a particular page and left without crossing to another page. And
Okay.
you tell where they actually clicked and where they dropped off with the help of Google with the help of the Google Analytics tool. So I believe that is what clarity is when it comes to check marking the performance of your website as the first thing on that checklist. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is trust. In content marketing, we always talk about relevance and trust. Relevance and trust.
Exactly.
Some of you might be able to understand this a little bit more deeper when you try to do a little bit of studies on search engine optimization. So, but when it comes to trust, you can tell that a website that a website is performing well when you have visible proof. You have visible proof, and visible proof could be testimonials, it could be
Okay.
reviews, it could be some stuff of user generated content. We already spoke about that. Talk about client success stories. Maybe you
Yes,
want to
yes.
add some certifications and media
Exactly.
mentions from other companies.
Mm-hmm.
And trust
That
must be
will work
visible
as well.
above the fold. Not is trust is not supposed to be buried. You visit some websites and people carry. testimonials, they carry UGC content, and they go and choke it at the tail end. Sometimes,
Yes,
before the visitor gets to that tail end, they would have given up.
that's
And
true.
sometimes the one thing they are looking for is only that proof. So you have to know how to transition from who you help to how you actually help them by making it bring the proof before them, even before time. Allow all the other information. They're going to get to learn more about the other information later. But that proof, you see that trust, you see that clarity, those two things should not be undermined.
Exactly.
The next thing is what I'm going to say is I think Madame Ngoge wants to say something
No, 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 Mr.
before I
Derek,
continue.
go ahead. We're learning a
So the
lot
next
from
thing
you right now.
the next thing I'm going to talk about is the website speed. And I'm going to upload the Fexify. Is it Fexify?
Fexify. Yes.
I'm going to upload Fexify a little bit for yeah, because I tried checking the website even though I didn't go through completely.
Okay.
And I must appreciate, I think the website speed is great. There's some things I could recommend, but we'll not talk about them on the call. But the website speed is so
Thank
great. So the next thing on my checklist for identifying a good website that is ready to convert more customers
you. Mm-hmm.
is this website speed. The website speed. The speed, a slow website loses visitors before they even see your offer. I spoke about that earlier on. There's some website
Exactly.
that you check mark on it, and the website will look for the whole day. It will look for more than 5 minutes. The website
That's
is
true.
supposed to look for even 1 minute. Try to simplify the process as much as possible as you can. Okay, let's say your website is heavy. It is better instead of driving traffic directly to the website because of all the data that the website carries to better still drive the traffic to a landing page. You can build a website funnel, drive the traffic to that website funnel. Once the clients once they convert from the funnel, they can come back later. You can redirect them to visit your website. So they will be
That's
patient
very
enough to
true.
wait for
That's
that
very
reload.
specific. I
Now,
hope they're able to get that.
awesome. So target under 3 second loading time on mobile. In fact, you're not supposed to check your website on a mobile phone and it takes more than 2 seconds. It takes more than 3 seconds. Use
Yes.
Google. In fact, for the tools, sometimes if you want to know whether your website is performing well, make use of the Google page speed insight or similar web. You can also
Mm-hmm.
make use of tools like Answer the Public by NP Digitals. There's some of those heavy tools right now. So there's some of those tools that
Thank
are
you very
good
much.
to diagnose and fix performance bottlenecks fast because some of those performance bottlenecks will really challenge your business. Imagine that you're driving traffic to a website that the entry load is very slow. You can imagine the number of traffic, the amount of traffic that you lose even before it gets to the first page of the website. That is number three. Then the fourth thing, which is the last but I think should be the second to the last in my checklist. You have to be able to identify whether your visitors can easily know where to go next. Guidance.
Exactly.
So too many menus are not good. They're not good for a website that is ready to make sales. Too many buttons, too many distractions. In fact, a confused visitor leaves even before they take action because they can check on a button that doesn't give them what they're looking for. So, but a guided visitor converts. I already said that earlier. So it's just like I'm repeating what I said, but you have to ensure that this process is guided. Simplify your
Thank you
navigation
very
and
much,
make
Mr.
the,
Derek.
make the primary action impossible to miss. Always ensure that you make the primary action impossible to miss. We call that automation these days.
Thank you very much, Mr. Derek, for those insights. We're going to write that down and make sure we implement it. So we're almost at the end of our podcast for today. We cannot thank you enough for being here with us and for guiding our audience on how to go about with your website. So before we leave, could you give us a closing remark? What should our audience remember from this podcast? Just one single thing they should remember before we leave.
All right. If you're going to remember one thing from this podcast, we've spoken a lot. We've said a lot of things. Um,
Exactly.
I'm going, I'm going to say that I'm going to say that you should find, if you're facing any challenges with your customer acquisition journey or your customer acquisition process, please, you
Yeah.
have to be able to, then you should find your bottleneck as fast as possible. The question is
Thank
whether
you.
do I need more traffic? The question should be, where is the bottleneck in my customer acquisition journey or customer acquisition process? Because every business has a bottleneck. Your job is to identify it and fix it as fast as possible as you can, and then scale, not like before. So sometimes the problem could be traffic, could be that you're getting low traffic, better the client, better the customer, or better the website is converting fast. It could be that you lack your customer, your website doesn't have trust. Your problem could be that there is no conversion. You're getting enough traffic, but there's no conversion. And it could also be that maybe you have a weak offer. So you should be able to identify where the bottleneck lies and fix it as fast as possible. So if you are going to remember anything from this podcast, remember that the real question is not whether am I getting more traffic. The real question is, where is the bottleneck? Is it low traffic? Is it low conversions?
Exactly.
Is it lack of trust? Or is it weak offers? Then you can be able to solve your problem.
That was a
Thank you.
very wonderful wrap up. Hope you remember the episode for today, guys. If your website is not converting, pay attention to the bottleneck. We cannot go around summarizing that websites are not necessary for your business at all. In fact, they are the most important stuff. So it's important to check out the bottleneck. You have professionals out there like Mr. Derrick, and there's Fexify figure out what the problem is and we'll solve it right away. So I hope to see you next episode. Thank you, Mr. Derrick. Hope you're going to join us here anytime from now. We love having you on today's platform, on today's episode. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ngonge, Madam Ngonge, and thank you to everyone who's been listening today. I hope these conversations that we've had has given you a clear picture of where your website might be leaving money on the table, and more importantly, what to do about it. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, sir. See you on the next podcast.
The pleasure is shared.